Have you ever wondered what options you have with an old employer-sponsored retirement plan from a previous job? Today we're going to talk about what those options are. Whenever you're changing employers or retiring, there are 4 options that you have for your old employer-sponsored plan, like a 401k, 403b, or some other plan that you may have been participating in. Those 4 options are: you can leave it where it is, you can roll it over to a new employer's plan, you can cash the plan out, or you can execute something called a rollover and move it into an IRA or Roth IRA of your own. The first option that you have is to leave it with your previous employer. For most employees, once you've left an employer, it can be an alternative to leave your 401k with that previous employer. Some of the advantages are you have a plan that you're comfortable with, you have a login that you're comfortable with and know when it comes to logging in to view your plan. You also have investment options that you're familiar with. Now, some of the downsides are, now that you're not a participant, you may not know everything that's going on with that plan, such as if the company is making a change to retirement plans, you're not going to be in the know right away as if you were still working there. In addition to that, some of the expenses may become your responsibility. One thing to understand is everything's so different from retirement plan to retirement plan that these nuances are worth asking and checking out either after you've left or maybe even before you've left, because they may have an impact on whether you're going to take a different job or not. Another thing to consider is if you are leaving this with your previous employer, at a certain point, you may be forced out of the plan. Again, with every plan being so different, some of them have different minimum requirements for you to leave your money in the plan after you've separated service. So you want to make sure you understand if you're going to eventually be forced to make a decision with this money, you know what those options look like. The second alternative is to roll your old employer plan into your new employer plans. The IRS allows 401ks to roll into 401ks, 403bs to roll into 403bs, Roth 401ks to roll into Roth 401ks, and etc. So you're going to want to ask your new employer plan if this is something that they allow, and then your 401k plan can potentially follow you to your new employer. Upside is you keep your money all in one place, and it's very easy for you to monitor and to navigate and to find logins and to see what your investment options are. The downside is, again, not all 401ks are created equal. Every employer's plan is very nuanced and different from employer to employer. So there may be things about your new plan that are worse than your old plan or that you just don't prefer. So asking these questions before you do the actual transaction is very, very important, because once you've left an old plan, it's very hard or almost impossible to go back. So the third option that you have is to completely cash the plan out and have your previous employer's plan send you the cash. You'll receive a check or a direct deposit, and you would have completely separated yourself from the previous plan. The downside here is a couple of things. One, you would have cashed out your retirement plan. So you're going to have to be responsible for either putting that into a new plan or making sure you're saving on your own for your retirement. 2, most 401ks or 403bs are going to require a 20% withholding to make sure the taxes on that distribution are paid. And your previous employer would do that, and the amount of money that you would receive would be 20% less than if you would have left it in the plan. 3, if you're below the age of 59 and a half, a premature distribution penalty may apply, and that would be an additional 10% that you would owe on this transaction. Now, the upside is you have the cash in your hand. And some folks, they like to have their cash where they can see it, but you're going to want to make sure you understand what's going to happen to you from a tax standpoint before you make this decision. The fourth option is to roll this money into your own IRA or Roth IRA. That's going to be determined by the type of an account you had set up at your previous employer. The method to do this is to call your previous employer and ask them what is necessary to move this into your own IRA. Your previous employer's plan is going to do one of 2 things. They're either going to send the check directly to your new IRA, or they're going to send the check to you made out to your new IRA for your benefit. Either way, this becomes a tax-free transaction because you're never technically receiving the money. and the money is going direct to your new IRA. Upside is now you don't have just the choices that are available in your 401k. You can choose how this money is invested, ideally with the help of an advisor. They're helping you make a portfolio or an asset allocation that fits your exact retirement goals. The downside is sometimes that comes with an additional expense, whether it is an asset management fee or an IRA fee that your previous employer may not have been charging you for the assets to be in the 401k. Again, these are all things that you need to examine before these transactions are completed, because once they're done, most 401ks are not going to take your money back, especially if you've separated service from that. If you do have any questions, please make sure you reach out to Hoffman Wealth Management through our website, hoffmanwealth.com, and we can help educate you on what options you have with a previous employer's plan.